Hi, my name's Ruth and I work in the International Office at the University of Nottingham. I'm going to be taking you through how to apply for your Tier 4 visa from overseas. So the first thing that we're going to look at today is about how you can know where to source the information that you need. The first thing that you need to consider looking at is the Tier 4 policy guidance, and that is available online. You may be able to see that on your screen now. There is also a wealth of university information that we've put together to help you through the Tier 4 visa process. We have our 7 easy steps document that you can take a look at on our webpage. We have a leaflet on all the information about applying for your visa overseas. We have sample application form guidance that can guide you through each question on the online visa application form, and we also have clear information on how you can avoid a visa refusal. So please do take a look at all that information. You can be reading that over the summer months before you've got your CAS, before you've got your final results, to make sure that you're preparing in advance. Also, you can get support from the university throughout the process and possibly from university representatives in your home country. So they're known as education agents. So you can look at those as an extra source of help. So one of the main questions we get is about how students can understand the beginnings of the process of applying for their Tier 4 visa. So first and foremost, you need to make preparations early, and this is particularly important around the finances that you need to have in place, the academic evidence that you'll need to show when you apply for your Tier 4 visa, so having your degree certificate or your transcript ready. Translations of documents into English that are not already in English is also something that can take time, that you can prepare in advance. Some students need ATAS, which is a particular extra document for certain courses in the engineering and science areas. And also, in certain parts of the world, you will require a TB or tuberculosis test. So that's a medical examination that gives you clearance to proceed and apply for your visa. You can also start looking at completing your online visa application form. You can see on your screen now where you can begin that. Start to look at the questions and start to prepare in advance. And finally, attending a visa application appointment will be something you'll need to consider. So have a look where your local visa application centre is and be prepared that you will be giving fingerprints and you'll be attending an interview as part of that process. The next thing that we're going to look at is how you get your CAS. So the CAS is the key visa document from the university that you need to apply for your Tier 4 visa. So the CAS will be issued by email. It's not a hard copy document, and it will be sent a maximum of 4 months before your course start date, providing that your offer is unconditional and firmly accepted, and in the case of masters and foundation courses, you need to have paid a £2,000 deposit to secure your CAS. In addition, you will look now on the website for the deposit information, exactly how you can pay, and lots of frequently asked questions about that deposit payment process. As I say, that's only for masters and foundation courses that the deposit is required. Many students ask us exactly how much money they need to prepare for the Tier 4 visa process. The UK Visa and Immigration Authorities will be looking for the full tuition fee for 1 academic year, and they will also be looking for money for your living costs, which is also referred to as maintenance. You need to show £1,015 for a maximum of 9 months. So those figures are on your screen now. So you need to show the full tuition fee plus living costs, and you can rest assured that any tuition fees you have paid or any university scholarships you have secured will be showing on your CAS. So you will just show the remaining amount with you. So what constitutes acceptable financial evidence? Well, funds that are not showing as paid in your CAS can be shown in one of the following methods: personal bank statements or a bank letter, an external scholarship letter, a government sponsor letter, or in some cases an educational loan letter. They are all acceptable financial evidence. The key thing is that financial evidence showing in a bank account needs to have been held for a consecutive 28-day period before you apply for your visa application online. When we're talking about financial evidence, for those of you that are using a bank account, it's really important that you understand key information about the format of those bank statements or the bank letter that you're providing. So on your screen now is a table which has quite a lot of information in it. So I recommend you pause your screen to take a look at what you should be doing and what you should be avoiding. If you are using your parents' accounts for your visa application, there are 2 extra documents that you need to provide. You need to provide your birth certificate, or if relevant, it may be an adoption certificate, but a document that confirms your relationship with your parent or legal guardian. You also need a letter from them consenting that their funds can be used for your studies in the UK. If you have dependents, so that would be your spouse or any children that you are wishing to bring to the UK with you, you need to bear in mind a couple of extra points. So you can only bring dependents if you are a government-sponsored student who is studying for more than 6 months, or if you are a postgraduate student on a course of 12 months or more. Each person will need to make a separate online visa application, and you also need to show additional funds for each dependent. The value of the funds you need to show is £680 per month per dependent, and that would be for the same period of time as the student. So that is typically for 9 months. Now we're moving on to other documents where we've looked at the financial evidence. Now we need to think about what else you need to show for your visa application. So the first thing is that you need to have a valid passport, and it needs to be valid for 6 months from the date of your visa application. So at least 6 months validity, and you need to have some spare pages in your passport as well. You will be asked for photographs of yourself, so 2 passport-sized photographs that you've not used before, and you will also be asked for original academic evidence of your qualification, and that is referred to in your CAS. So you'll know what you need to provide because you will look at your CAS, so that will be your academic evidence. In some cases, you may be required to show evidence of your English language ability, but that is only where it is referred to in your CAS. Some students will need to provide an ATAS certificate. Again, this will be confirmed in your CAS if it applies to you. And some students from certain countries need to provide a TB test, so that's a tuberculosis medical screening test when you apply for your visa. So about your documents, a little bit of extra information, some extra tips. Please remember, all your documents need to be original. Scanned copies are not accepted. Documents that are not in English should be translated by an official translator. You can ask the Visa Application Centre if you're not sure what constitutes an official translator, but they cannot be translated by you or a family member. If you are under 18 years old, you need an additional letter of consent from your parent or legal guardian. And remember that dependents need extra items, so you'd need a marriage certificate for your spouse and birth certificates for your children. At this point, it's important for me to mention a small group of nationals who are exempt from certain requirements. The group of nationals, the list is now showing on your screen, are exempt from showing financial evidence and also academic evidence when they apply for the visa. This group of certain nationalities are referred to as low-risk nationals, and it's also referred to as differentiation arrangements. It means that there is a light touch approach. You're not required to submit the financial or academic evidence with your visa application, but you should still have it. You should have it in place because you may be asked for it at any time, and you are making a legal declaration that you have the funds in place and you have the academic evidence to hand if needed. Next, we will briefly look at completing the visa application form itself. So please use our sample application form guidance. It takes you through each question step by step, and you can see that on your screen now. At the end of the online application, a really important point is the section which asks you to identify where you want your visa card, your biometric residence permit, where you want that delivering. And the university is a collection point, so you have to enter a specific code onto your visa application form to ensure that your BRP card is delivered here, so you can collect it on arrival. So you can see that information on your screen now. I hope that information has been useful to you. You probably want to know what happens next. So, as part of the visa application process online, you will be asked to pay for the Immigration Health Surcharge. This is a fee which is applied at the time of the visa application to collect money towards the National Health Service in the UK. So you can access health services here in the UK. You will be asked to pay £150 per year at the point you apply for your visa. You will also need to pay the visa application fee itself. This is currently £328. You will be submitting your application and booking a visa appointment. You will then be asked to attend the appointment, provide your fingerprints, and possibly attend an interview. Many of our students ask us about how they can prepare for the visa interview, and preparation is important. So I'll tell you a little bit about what we expect will happen. The visa interview is likely to take about 15 to 20 minutes. It will be conducted by Skype with a Home Office or government representative in the UK. They will ask you a series of mandatory questions and your answers will be transcribed. If there is any difficulty with the technical setup, you must raise that so that confusion doesn't arise over your answers. So if you're having difficulty hearing, then you should mention that as a technical issue. Don't ask for an interpreter, remain calm, do your preparation on typical interview questions and use some of the resources which are on the internet. We can guide you to some of the excellent resources that other universities have put together for a typically good interview and a typically bad interview. But if you know your course, you know your reasons for wanting to study at the university and why you chose this particular location in the UK, those are the sort of things that you'll be being asked. So as long as you're confident in your choice that Nottingham and this course is right for you, you should be able to answer the relatively straightforward questions. So thank you for listening. That concludes our Tier 4 visa application video. There's information on your screen now if you'd like to get in touch with any further questions as you navigate the process. And we wish you all the best. We look forward to welcoming you in Nottingham.